So it's a Friday night. What are you planning on doing?
You are now listening to Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. Let's get into it.
Episode 161, Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. I am back again. I'm back again, motherfucker. You're getting a little late this evening. I'm sure you're getting a little nervous looking at the thing going, what the fuck, man? I know, me too. Had to reschedule and move around some things in my schedule today to accommodate for some things going on tomorrow, so I had to do a bunch of shit today that I was supposed to do tomorrow, whatever. So, been a little fucking around, but it's all done. I'm fucking home. I'm in the pod garage. So, first, the DPM project with Punch Marker was a total success. Thank you for everybody who fucking grabbed one of those. What else we got? That was just fucking total success, and I appreciate everybody fucking, participating in the drop. Been fucking powder coating a little bit here and there, trying to learn it. The shit is kind of expensive, like that red shit that I was doing. So I've been kind of going, like, learning with the cheaper shit, the Harbor Freight shit. But I ended up getting a new gun, a new powder coating gun from this company, Eastwood, and dude, the difference is fucking unbelievable. I was like, holy fuck, man, this one is so much better than this other one. I couldn't believe it. So I was extremely happy about that. That was a good, and they're not expensive. It was like less than $100. So it was definitely worth the upgrade. So I'm gonna be fucking with that a little more, and I've been keeping one in my pocket just to see how it holds up for pocket wear. Like I got rid of the Nomad because it fucking didn't look like a Nomad after a while in your pocket, and I didn't really know that because I didn't carry one. And then when I learned that, I was like, oh man, I can't. It'd be more of a showpiece. It'd be cool if you just wanted to have it in a part of your collection, because I know there's some people with some fucking collections out there. That would be a better showpiece than an everyday carry. But same like the Executive, man. The Executive isn't really an everyday carry piece. That's a definite fucking a collection piece. Take it to a wedding or something like that. You have that be your wedding scribe or your funeral scribe or your fucking whatever. But it's just not, it works. It can be an everyday, the Executive, but it's just more suited for, special occasion scribe and shit. And if you got it like that, that's what it's for. So I talked to Punch Marker, and more DPMs will be available soon. So if you missed out on the first run, you will have an opportunity to grab one. And if anyone else has one, send me some feedback. Let me know how they're working in the streets or just in everyday, just in general. Let's see how those are bumping. So what else do we got? Powder coating, the DPM. Oh, the fucking most of the sweatshirts went out today, or not today, this week. So those should be touching down all the time. I think I got like one or two more that have to go out. But they're rolling, man. They are rolling. So I hope you get it and you dig it and you wear it on fucking Halloween. What else we got? There was more things too. I can't remember. No, actually, I think that was it for Devastator news. I think that's it for Devastator news. So shout out to everyone who's been rocking with all these new projects and all this new shit, man. I appreciate you guys, really. it does mean a lot to me, and I appreciate you sticking around and fucking hanging in there for my little drought times or whatever. You know, I'm trying to keep it fresh, or at least add a new spin on some things that we've been doing. Obviously, you can tell the Devastator University fucking shirt is like my fucking favorite design ever. I think. Maybe not. I don't know. The Bugs design is pretty cool, but I do like that Dev University, man. It's just so fucking clean. You know? Like, it's so fucking clean. It looks good. It looks like a fucking collegiate t-shirt or sweatshirt, but then when you're like, oh, what the fuck is Devastator? You know, it's dripping. Oh shit, it got a jack-o'-lantern head in the so that's what's going on. I was reminded of something. Erica came to work with me today for the latter half of the jobs that I needed some help with, just to get the fuck out of there so I could get home on time. And I pulled into Wendy's to grab her some Wendy's after the long day of working, and there was a bus, or not a bus, but a 16 passenger van from Houghton University, and she goes, "Oh, that was your old stomping grounds, right?" And I say, "Yeah," and I don't remember if I ever talked about it on here. I'm sure in 100 episodes I talked somewhat about it, but when I was in fucking, I can't remember if I was freshman, sophomore. Okay, yeah. So I don't know if I was a junior or a senior. Oh yeah, well that would make sense. Junior, senior. I was one of the other, and I had to go do. I didn't have to. I signed up to spend like a weekend at this Christian college, and I think it was like from Friday night to Sunday morning or something like that. And I got to pick a major, and they gave me, you know, an itinerary. Like, if I were to have that major, these are the classes. And I went and sat in these classes and shit. And so of course it's a troop from where I live. And I think it was myself, the other girl that was from the homeschool program that I graduated with, our graduating class of 2. I was the only full-time student from the school. And 2 other people. I must have been a senior, because I think the 2 other people, the brother and sister, were, I think they were juniors. So that would make sense. So I think I was a senior, they were juniors. And it was like 4 people from our school went. And the way it started, like, we got there and we had like this quick orientation, and there was a ton of other people there. Like, just from our school was just like, you know, the 4 fucking people. Maybe we might have even took like 8 people in the van, but there was only 4 from our school and some other people just from our area. But there was tons of vans and buses and shit at this place when we got there. So they had this big orientation with all of us, with, you know, hundreds of kids from all over the state. They might even been from out of state, some people. You know, it was a big deal. It was definitely like a thing that they had going on there. And when we pulled in, it was late. It wasn't late. It was like afternoon. It was probably like 4 or 5 o'clock when we got there. So no, it might have been 6 o'clock, because it was after school, and then we all got together and then left from the school after school. And it was, I can't remember how far, an hour or 2 away, whatever it was. It was a troop though. It felt fucking far away. So as soon as we pulled up, I could hear bass. And like, you know, my whole fucking life up to that point was music. You know, making music and fucking being a part of music and watching live music and experimenting with music. And I had these 2 MTX 15 stage speakers and a receiver from like the late 60s. And I had a fucking 5-disc CD changer, and that motherfucker would beat, son. Anyway, so I was very familiar with like bass, and we're pulling up in this van into the drop off area. I don't think it was a loop, but it was like maybe a carport or something like that. A port where you pull up and let people out. And I could hear it. Boom, 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 boom. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And immediately I'm like, Christian college. Why am I here? And I'm like looking. There's no cars in the loop. Like no one's beating out there. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So we get let out, and they're having this orientation inside, and I just can't stop looking at like this dude. Now we get inside the building, and like their main big like common area. I don't know what it is. If it was like that was where their events and shit would take place. And it was like an eating hall. It was all kinds of shit all right there. And I was like, oh shit. And there was a guy with a full fucking sound system set up, like fucking mixing board. And it was like a DJ set up with lights and all this crazy shit. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I wasn't, all right, well, this is cool. I was like, cool. So the orientation, they're like, yeah, we're doing this scavenger hunt. And if you get a team, and then, whoever gets back to the scavenger hunt finishes it. It ends in the, some fucking thing in the woods where there's a fire and marshmallows and all this fucking shit. And I'm on drugs and drinking a little bit at this time. Well, no, I was heavily on drugs and drinking at this time. Well, maybe not heavily on drugs, but I was definitely drinking like a motherfucker. And smoking weed. And I don't think I was taking really a lot of pills yet. No, I wasn't heavy into the pills at this point. I was like just starting. But anyway, so drinking was my thing then. And I was like, no, was I? I don't remember if I was smoking weed. I was definitely into alcohol. It was alcohol because I was arrested, but it could have been in my time until, because it was a year after I got arrested until I got on probation. And I smoked weed all up until I started probation. So it could have been in there. I don't know. I don't remember. I remember I was looking for somewhere to be drinking at. Anyway, so I was like, fuck, man. I was like, this is cool. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, oh, well, there's clearly like a fucking stage with lighting and fucking, and the guy was in the bass was a dude doing a fucking sound check. Like it was doing a sound check. And I was like, oh, I wonder if there's like some sort of concert here or something tonight. So whatever. So they told us about this fucking scavenger hunt, and you could have teams or you could do it yourself and blah, blah, blah. And it ends in the thing with the food and the marshmallow fucking roast and all this shit. And I was like, as soon as I was like, fuck this. Right. So now the college is like, that room is like filling with people. Like all these college students, not fucking the people I was there with. They all dispersed. All these groups of fucking high schoolers had dispersed. So I was like, I asked somebody, I was like, what's going on tonight? And they said, oh, it's like a fucking, it's like a talent night. Or something like that. You could sing or do fucking poetry or do whatever, bands, fucking magic tricks, whatever. And it wasn't for the high school kids. It was like a college thing. So I was like, I said, anybody could do it? And they're like, yeah, anybody could do it. And I don't even think they knew I was a fucking high school student there on this thing. And I said, well, let me sign up. Right? So I signed up. And I already said, fuck all that other shit. I was like, I'm not doing none of that. This shit is stupid. So, I skipped a part. When we first got there, we were immediately assigned a dorm to go stay in a room to go stay in with these dudes. Or whatever, whoever our, whatever gender we were, we stayed with them. Because we all had a bunch of shit with us. And so we dropped all our shit off and then went back to this main hall. That's what the fuck happened. Because when they said, like, you could do anything, you could do music. And I said, if I got music, can you play it? And I was like, I'll do a music song. And they're like, yeah. And I knew that I brought probably 7 or 8 beat CDs because all I did was write music. I listened to beats and fucking wrote music. That's like all I fucking did. And they're like, yeah, you gotta like only like a half an hour until I got to get everything synced up and ready, and if you want to get on the thing, because the list is filling up. And I was like, so I ran back to this dorm. I didn't even really know how to get there and shit. I was like running. It was a fucking troop. I fucking ran. I got all my fucking CDs. I grabbed them all. I grabbed my fucking headphones, and I'm going through it. Now it's a Christian college, so now I'm like, oh shit, what song the fuck am I gonna do that doesn't have cursing or killing or anything like that? So now now that's like a whole thing in itself, and I'm like going through. I'm like, all right, I could do the song I got called "Please Don't Go." One of the best written songs. I think one of the early on best written songs I think I ever wrote. Very fucking cool. So I get all the, I know I got the "Please Don't Go" beat, right? So I'm like, fucking, I sit down in the back of this fucking room. Everyone's filling up. People are bringing food, and I'm fucking, pizzas are showing up and shit. And I'm like playing through all these beat CDs. 1, 2, click, 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 nope. Click, 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 nope. Click, click. Oh, fuck, man. I know it's here. I know I got it. And then, and I said, yes, here it is. It's number this, whatever it was, this CD. And as I'm listening to it, that shit said, and I said, oh, it's skipping. So for those of you who don't know, if your CD is scratched or fucked up at all, it would skip and not play properly, right? So I said, fuck. So I pulled it out. Of course, I gave it the fucking t-shirt rub. And I just said, fuck it. I gave it to the dude with the written thing on it. And fucking, this number song, whatever. And fucking, he's like, all right. He's like, well, I'll call you up when it's your time. You go up there and we'll fucking sync it up. So I waited. And I'm like, wait. Now, no one at my school knows that I have this alter ego, this like other side of me, this musician that writes all this music and shit. They all just thought I was writing in a journal, and the journal was my fucking rap book. And nobody fucked with my rap book. And I would have the covers detached. So the first thing, as soon as I got a new rap book, I'd rip the cover off and I'd customize it with all these like pictures and all this cool shit. I still got them all. Maybe I'll post them one day when I get them from my mom's house. I got them all over there. And then like every so often I would get like tired of the cover. And I would just swap out the cover, like fucking, because I had all these fucking covers from like years of books. So then I would always just keep the cover on top of whatever page I was writing. So then I wouldn't have to like flip all the way back. I would just take the cover off, which sometimes, you would drop it because I had the book everywhere. So sometimes you would drop the fucking cover, but either way, you drop the fucking cover, you put it back on. Anyway, so I'd always have like these different covers. So then when I would get up from my desk at school, I'd put the fucking cover on my book, and no one ever fucked with my journal, which is my rap book. And, so I said, fuck, all right. So I go sit down like kind of in like almost like a bullpen. There was like, I don't know, it was like several tables that were for people that were about to perform. And then people were doing all this kind of shit, comedy, all this kind of stuff. And these are like, they're in their 20s and shit, or, 19, 20, 21, whatever the fuck age you are in college. I don't fucking know. There's people of all ages there, professors. It was a whole fucking thing. It was a big deal for them. It was like a big night. There was flyers and all kinds of shit. And then here's my dumbass. So, Kyle, okay, here I go. So I get up to the front, and I'm like, as I get on this stage and look, I realize like the magnitude of what I just got myself into. There is hundreds of fucking people there. Hundreds. And I'm looking around, and you know, if you ever been on stage, the lights kind of like blind you on purpose, I think. So I can just tell there's mad people there. I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, and I can't remember if it was like track 17, we'll just say, or something like that. And they're like, it's not starting. And I'm like standing there with this mic, the lights on. It's just me. I got no hype man, no ad libs, no nothing. I said, track 17 or something like that, whatever. And then it starts up and I can hear it. Suddenly I killed this fucking song flawlessly. Like I killed it. And then the song's done. the fucking place. I get a standing ovation. People are going. They're like, there was nothing like that for the whole before, all the couple acts before me. Nothing after it. Nothing. They started saying encore, right? And I was like, oh shit. How the fuck am I going to find another song where I don't curse in like this short amount of time? So I'm like, all right, I could probably censor something. But I'm like, either way, like I got all this crazy material. Like even if I didn't curse, I'm still talking about all this crazy shit. So I wrote this other song called Dedicated. And in the whole song, it was a song that was dedicated to everybody. And it was like everyone in my whole life. But it wasn't like giving off names. It was almost like people who would, you know, it was dedicated. What the fuck? How did it go? The ones that told me don't quit, the ones that are always down to it was I want to always down to listen to new shit, but I said to listen to a new hit. The ones that patted my back and said, damn man, you're ill. The ones that fans from the beginning, the ones that are the fans still when we're at a standstill, the ones that don't rush production. So when that new tracks drops, there's always that special little something. And this is like 01, 02. I think it was 02. No, it was 03. It was 03. I got the fucking flyer at home still. It was probably 03 because I wasn't graduating. I graduated in 04, but I was drinking. I was out of jail. So it was probably it was 03 at some point. I'm gonna have to look. I'll get it. I'll report back to you once I get all this stuff. Anyway, so this whole song I did the second song, right? And that one really wasn't, it wasn't like a singy song kind of thing. It was like a long fucking no hook kind of thing. And it was just like me being grateful for all these people and different things in my life. And that didn't get the standing ovation. Everyone was fucking, they enjoyed it. So I got off the stage and there was my fucking people from my class. The people I came with were there. And I said, oh shit. And they were like, that's great, Kyle. You know, all this shit. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, fuck. And they were like, oh yeah, we finished the thing and da-da-da. Where were you? You didn't. I said, nah, I didn't do it. So I didn't do. There was all this programming that we had to do in between going to the classes that were in our itinerary. I didn't do none of that shit. So then, you know, finish out the night. I go back to the dorm. The fucking dudes made the mistake of letting me, oh yeah, you could use our computer. I signed into AIM, fucking put a fucking an away message up that said I need a sub 7 server sent to me with my details and shit. So the first thing I do is fucking infect their computer with fucking sub 7. Like, just to do it. So I was like, all right, here we go. Boom. That's the first thing I did. I fucking, we drove by the fucking mall today, and I was like, oh, that shit used to be, it was a big Goodwill. And I said, oh, that used to be Circuit City. I said, one time we were at fucking Circuit City, fucking, you know, because we'd be at the mall for 12 hours a day. And they had one of the fucking floor model computers, like, I go, oh shit, I just logged into one of my Fish accounts. I say, no. And I asked this kid, Rolly, yo, send me my sub 7 server with my fucking details, my ICQ. So I infected the fucking computer at fucking Circuit City, but I did the same thing at this Houghton College. That was like the first thing I did. What a fucking asshole. And these dudes were mad cool too. So I was talking to them like that night and shit. I was like, I'm saying though, I was like, where's the party at? And he's like, and there was two dudes and he said, where's the party at? I said, yeah. I was like, it's fucking Friday night. I was like, let's fucking, I think it was Friday. Unless it was all day. No, I think it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I said, yo, like fucking, and he's like, that's not this kind of school, man. And I was like, for real? And he's like, yeah, I mean, maybe if you ask around enough, you could find somebody. He's like, but there's not really a whole lot of that goes on here. And I was like, man, all right. So I said, whatever. I was like fucking disappointed about that, of course. So then the next day, I was like just trying to talk to people and meet people and shit because I'm here, you know, I might as well. So I'm like just trying to talk to people, dudes, girls, whoever. I'm just like trying to find something to do in between these classes and shit. And the classes were the fucking programming class was cool because I did computer science. So the programming class was cool. The math class was ridiculous. That's when I realized that this just wasn't for me. Like this, it was like 3 boards written. And it was all one problem. I took a picture of this shit. I got it somewhere. Like, all this fucking writing was just one math problem. And I was like, fuck this. And then there was some other classes. I can't even remember what they were. They really didn't. It was, you know, some bullshit that I walked in fucking in the middle of the year. So I had no idea what they were talking about. But in between there, you know, it's a college experience. I never did that. So there's like people chilling. There's all these areas to go hang out. You can go to the gym, play basketball. There's all this shit going on. There's fucking all these activities everywhere. It was like pretty fucking cool. So I was like, all right, they're like, oh yeah, the food area is open all the time, or at least like from like 9 to 5 or whatever it was. So you could just go in and eat and shit and get your food or whatever. And I was like, damn, that's all right. So I was trying to talk to people and they were like, and everyone was like kind of clowning on me, and not clowning on me, but they were like not giving me like good answers. So I was sitting there and I'm looking all around and I see everyone's got these purple folders, and I could tell like, and they're like following people around, you know, they're running to these classes with these purple folders. And I got a purple folder when I started. And I said, that's why everybody's fucking treating me like fucking an outsider. I was like, because I got this purple folder, and all the fucking high school kids, all of us, all these hundreds of high school kids got these purple folders. Fuck this purple folder. Purple folder went in the fucking garbage. That like changed my whole rest of my fucking day and a half there. All I did was run. I was in the dorms. I was in all these fucking places I was like had no business being in. Fucking chilling with all these people. Never found a party. Never found alcohol. Never found drugs. But everyone's like, oh, what are you studying here? And I'm like, oh, nah, I'm in fucking high school. I'm just here with the program. They're like, oh. But they immediately fucking didn't write me off because I got rid of that stupid fucking purple folder. So that was a fucking good experience. But anyway, I just figured I would share that with you guys because I was reminded of it. And I knew I wasn't going to be attending school there. It was pretty fucking expensive too. And you know, sometimes I wish I would have done a little bit more schooling. It's just that math part always fucked me up. And there was, and even like our oldest kid she's in college, and there's like, there's all this like these requirements for certain classes and shit. And I think it's fucking stupid. But I mean, like, if you're doing whatever, coding, why the fuck is trigonometry involved in that? You know, or graphic design. You gotta take a trig class in graphic design. What the fuck I gotta do that for? You know, it's like all these things. Well, you have to take this, and you gotta have a fucking, you know, foreign language, or you gotta do this, and it's like, I don't know. It's just, you should be able to go and fucking learn about what you want to learn about, not what they fucking think you should learn about along with what you want. It's like, oh yeah, you could do this, but you got to do this too. Why? What the fuck, man? You know, I don't know. I'm not here to be a fucking mathematician, dog. I want to infect all the computers on the network with sub-7 servers. Something must have happened at both, at the Circuit City and at the college, because they only worked for a while. And we had some sub-7 fucking, what happened is, if you infected someone with the server, every time they would sign online, oh, hold on. every time they would sign online, you would get a little ICQ notification. Uh-oh. And it would say, like, you know, whoever, you know, whatever you program the server to say, you know, whoever, it's Kyle, fucking IP address is this, port number, fucking whatever. And usually you would set up your own port that it would open up, you know, something that wasn't like a default port. So, you know, I can't remember what the fuck ours was like, I don't know, whatever 4-digit fucking port that we used. But it was, I think it was 4 digits. And so you would do that, and then you would remotely take over their computer. Well, you didn't have to take it over, but you had remote access to their computer, and you could do whatever you wanted, like anything you fucking wanted. It was like you were right there, and the software was really intuitive. Or not intuitive. That's not the word. It was good fucking software, and you could do a lot of cool shit with it, and malicious shit too. You could just turn someone's shit into a paperweight if you knew what to do. So, but eventually, it would get, like, if they ran enough scans, or if the virus scan updated enough, or, you know, like a system administrator for the college, maybe you did something. It would eventually get found out. But some people, we had their shit for years. And you just when you go and log in, and you like go rip through their fucking shit, see if anything was new, you know, fucking, it was fucking all bullshit. We never really did too much with it, but it was fun. Anyway, so that's all I got. That's this week. Told you I'd have a story for you. So my first ever live performance got a fucking standing ovation. The song Please Don't Go. Shout out to everybody. Shout out Machine Studio. Shout out Punch Marker. Shout out Pep. Shout out Zeph. Shout out fucking my sister and her husband. Shout out fucking Big Indian fucking Drift Pit. Shout out everybody, man. Shout out fucking my homie from fucking YouTube. Who else, man? Everybody, man. Shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to everyone listening. And I love you all, and I appreciate you rocking. And yeah, man, send some fucking pictures of some damage. Let's get some pictures up, boy. Love you guys. I'm out of here.